স্ক্রিন দেখা যাচ্ছে?
হ্যাঁ ম্যাম, দেখা যাচ্ছে।
So I will just discuss a few problems on whatever we have discussed till now before going to a new theory portion. Now the first one, these are all based on the cylindrical rotor theory equivalence in that phasor diagram. Now here what is given, the open circuit and short circuit test data of a machine is given. So the open circuit and short circuit test data of a 150 megawatt 13 kV 0.85 power factor 50 hertz synchronous generator is given. The table gives the open circuit test data and short circuit test data is for given for only for one current. It is a straight line, so even if one point is given, the curve can be drawn. Other one is the 0 0. So we have to determine the unsaturated synchronous reactance, adjusted synchronous reactance, its per unit value, and determine the short circuit ratio of the machines. Now, these have certain definitions. That is, synchronous reactance, we have seen that as the OCC is non-linear. So, the synchronous reactance value with different field current is non-linear. Synchronous reactance versus the field current curve. Initially, for the straight portion of the OCC, it is constant. Then, as the saturation sets in, the value decreases. So the value is varying. There is no point of having a mean value or average. So we calculate for different conditions. Now, unsaturated synchronous reactance is obviously the synchronous reactance which is calculate that we have done for when calculating unsaturated synchronous reactance for regulation. So it is uh, calculated at rated voltage, but the field current is taken corresponding to the air gap line, not the OCC. And the adjusted synchronous reactance is also at rated voltage. That is the field current for rated voltage, and corresponding short circuit current gives you the adjusted synchronous reactance. Now, short circuit ratio is defined as field current required to produce rated voltage divided by field current required to produce the rated current. Now, it has some relationship with the adjusted synchronous reactance. As we uh, calculate, you will show. Now, the rated voltage is 11 kV. So, as I have told that here it is shots that connection is not given. So even not given, we should consider it's at star. So we have to have the phase voltage. So it is 13 kV by root 3 and corresponding short circuit current. Now this is the plot. So corresponding to rated voltage, this is the corresponding field current. So for this field current from the short circuit, this is the first one is the unsaturated. So for the rated voltage for the unsaturated means from the air gap line, this is the corresponding field current. So this for this field current, the corresponding current is this. This is a just hand drawn curve, so the values are not just reflecting. So if you plot on the graph, you will get the value of the short circuit current from here, and that is found to be 7,000. So we get the unsaturated synchronous reactance as 1.072. Now, the adjusted synchronous reactance is for the rated voltage but corresponding to the OCC. So, for the same rated voltage corresponding to the OCC, this is the field current, and correspondingly, this is the short circuit current. This is found to be 8600 ampere. So, we get the adjusted synchronous reactance as 0.873. You can obviously this is some saturation effect, so it is less than the unsaturated value. Now we have to find the per unit value of the adjusted synchronous reactance also. Now for per unit value we have to find the base value of the impedance. Now base value is normally all the base value is taken as the rated value. So I rated will be the rated current. Rated current is 7837 ampere, and so base voltage is the rated voltage divided by rated current. So this is the base impedance. So adjusted synchronous reactance per unit will be XS per unit in ohm divided by Z base. So this is 0.911 per unit. Now next one is the short circuit synchronous reactance. Obviously from here, from as the curves are given, so IF for producing rated voltage and IF for producing rated current, that values can be found out and directly from the curve, and the ratio can be taken. Otherwise this relationship can be used. That is, this is a linear I short circuit characteristic is linear. So if OF dashed is the field current required to produce the rated voltage, and say this OF triple dashed is the field current to produce the rated current, then as this characteristic is a straight line, so OF dashed by OF triple dashed is equal to this current values, that is O dash C dashed by O dash C. Now so O dash C dashed, this one, this is 8600 by the rated current. So if we multiply it by V rated, so it can be written as V rated by root 3 into I rated, and this V rated into root 3 into 8600. Just these values are multiplied, so the expression is the same. So here you can see that this is the base value of the impedance, Z base, and this is the adjusted synchronous reactance, this one. So basically your SCR or the short circuit ratio is 1 by adjusted synchronous reactance per unit. So it is the inverse of the per unit value of the adjusted synchronous reactance. The value is 1.09. Now the next problem gives a 6600 volt 1200 kV alternator, has a reactance of 25% and is delivering full load at 0.8 lagging power factor. It is connected to constant frequency bus bar. If the steam supply is gradually increased, then calculate at what output will the power factor become unity, the maximum load which it can supply without dropping out of synchronism, and the corresponding power factor. Now it is mentioned that steam supply is gradually increased. That means the change is gradual. So it is not a sudden transient change. So load diagram will change very gradually. So this is a steady state operation. So again, we can have the phase voltage. Phase voltage is the line voltage divided by root 3. Then we can have the current. We have the kVA rating. We have the voltage. So we can calculate the current. So your phase voltage is 3810 volt. Current is 105 ampere. So our again Z base value we can calculate. Z base is 36.28 ohm. So this is actually the per unit value given. So ohmic value of XS will be 0.25 into Z base. So it is 9.07 ohm. Now the power factor is given as 0.8. So we can have active. So here you can see the phasor. So we have, have taken voltage as a reference. The resistance has been neglected. So say the power factor is 0.8, so lagging. So this is the position of current I. So this can be resolved into two component, resistive component in phase with the voltage and inductive component or reactive component perpendicular to it. So IR will be I into sorry 0.8. Similarly, the reactive component will be I into this is sine theta. So this resistive component is 84 and inductive component is 63. Now E0 the induced EMF is V phase plus JI XS. So I phase we know. So this will be I1 into this 0.8 minus 0.6 J, and this is XS value is known. V pin V phase is known. So these can be computed and we get the value of E0. So this is the magnitude. So this is the magnitude OA and this is the angle. This angle is 9.8. Now it is said that excitation is constant. So whatever be the position of the phasor, excitation this point, the locus of this point will be a circle whose radius is this. So for unity power factor, current is in phase with the voltage. So we have neglected RA. So I2 XS perpendicular to it, and it cuts this circle at point A1. This is E0. So from here we can get the value of the current, that I2x. This is E0 square minus V phase square. So from here and anyway in XS we calculate the value of I2. It is 252.8 ampere. So corresponding power will be root 36600 into the current 252.8. So it is 2890 kilowatt. So you can see that it is larger than the actual rating. So it is not the normal operating range range of the machine. Now next one is that what is the maximum power, that is what is the maximum load which can be supplied without dropping out of synchronism and corresponding power factor. Now maximum load theoretically we know as it is a steady state change, so delta maximum is 90 degree. So for delta maximum 90 degree, that means this is V, so E0 will be here. If E0 is here, this is this IXS. So I will be perpendicular to this. This will be the position of I something. not shown it here. So I3 excess will be E0 square plus V phase square. So this gives us I2 excess is equal to 5856. So knowing excess, we can calculate I3. It is 645.6 ampere. So let active component of I3 and reactive component of I3x, then active component, this I3R excess is this, I3x excess will be this, because this is your I3 excess. So its active and reactive component will be, it is active component along this line and reactive component along this line. So this knowing these values, excess is known, so resistive uh, component and the inductive component can be calculated. From there we can calculate the angle phi. This is on this side, so this is leading, power factor is leading 40.58 degree, power factor is 0.759 lead. So P max can be calculated root 3 into V line into the current into the power factor. So this is 5601.57 kilowatt. So you can see that both these kilo ranges are out of the normal operating range of the machine. However, that this is the maximum value the machine can hold, will remain synchronous. Even if the load is increased beyond that, it will go out of synchronism. The next problem is a three-phase 11 kV 10 megawatt star connected synchronous generator has a synchronous impedance of 0.6 plus j 10 ohm per phase. That is, this is the resistance. So if excitation is such that open circuit voltage is 12 kV, determine maximum output of the generator, current and power factor at maximum output. So maximum output per phase, considering sine delta is equal to 1, is EF Vt by XS. Now EF is star connected, so 12,000 kV by root 3, and Vt is 11,000 volt by root 3. So, and XS is given as 10 ohm. So from this equation, Pmax per phase, it can be found out, it is 4,400 kilowatt per phase. So Pmax will be 3 into this, so 13.2 megawatt. Now, as corresponding to this previous figure, from here Imax excess is equal to F square plus Vt square. So this is the value of Imax excess. So Imax will be 939.8 ampere, and power factor also we can calculate from here. The next one is effective resistance of a three-phase star connected. This will be 50 hertz. 50 hertz, 2200 volt alternator is 5 ohm per phase. On short circuit, a field current of 40 ampere gives the full load current of 200 ampere, and EMF line to line value of 1100 volt is produced on open circuit with the same excitation. Determine the synchronous impedance in compute power angle and regulation at point 0.8 lagging. So basically the open circuit and short circuit data is given this month, that is EMF produced 1100 volt on open circuit. It is an open circuit data, and this one the short circuit field current of 40 ampere gives the full load current. This is the short circuit data. So ZS will be the EMF, open circuit EMF per phase, that is 1100 by root 3 divided by this current. So this is 3.18 ohm. Now here resistance is given 0.5. So here synchronous reactance will be put over a Z square minus RA square is equal to 3.14. So this value are almost equal, you can see. That's why we normally neglect the resistance. So VT, the rated voltage per phase is 2200 by root 3 volt. So EF we can calculate from this equation. This VT is known, IA rated value 200 and 0.8 power factor lag. So this will be the current and this is the impedance. So from here we can calculate EF. So EF value is given as 1782 volt, angle is 14.4 degree. So regulation will be this 1782 minus 1270 divided by rated 1270 into 100. So it is 40.3%. It is by the synchronous reactance method. So the value is large. Next one is a 2000 kVA, 11 kV, 3-phase star connected alternator has a resistance of 0.3 ohm per phase and reactance of 5 ohm per phase. It delivers full load current at 0.8 lagging power factor at normal voltage. Compute the terminal voltage for the same excitation and load at 0.8 leading power factor. So again we have the per phase power 11 kV by root 3. So this is 6351 volt and the current is corresponding to, this is the kVA rating divided. So from here we will get the current. Now we can calculate the EF or the excitation. We know VT, we know IA rated current at 0.8 lagging power factor. This is the impedance given. So this is the value of EF. EF is 6703.2. So keeping the excitation same, if we want if we want to calculate for the leading power factor, EF will be VT plus I into, it is leading, so 0.8 plus J 0.6 into RA plus J XS. So from this equation you can we can calculate EF. From this equation, if now for leading we have kept the excitation constant, so EF will be this value. So from here we will get the new value of VT. So VT per phase will be this. So VT line will be root 3 times this. So this is leading. So your terminal voltage will be more. The next one is a 3-phase 2-pole 2000 kVA 6600 volt 3000 rpm turbo alternator has 60 armature slots with 4 conductor per slot, and its effective resistance and leakage reactance is 0.1 ohm and 2 ohm per phase respectively. There are 10 slots, rotor slots per pole with angular pitch of slots equal to 10 degree and 20 conductors per slot. The open circuit characteristics are given. Determine the regulation at full load, zero point 0.8 power factor lagging. Now the winding distribution is given, so we have to calculate the winding factor. So first, we have calculated the voltage rated per phase rated voltage and the current rated current. Now here the resistance and the leakage reactance value are given. So for 0.8 lagging power factor, the air gap voltage ER can be calculated as Vt plus I into 0.8 minus j 0.6 into Ra plus XAL. So putting the values, we will get ER. This is 4000 ER per phase, 4043 angle 3.8 degree. So for we have to calculate the regulation. So first we have to calculate what is the corresponding field current. Now in all the methods, what we assume that the OCC actually, which is the open circuit voltage and the field current relationship for open circuit condition, also gives the relationship between the air gap voltage and the resultant field excitation under loaded conditions. So though it is a EF versus IF curve, so it also gives, or FF curve, this also gives a relationship between ER and IR. So corresponding to ER value from the OCC, we will calculate what is the corresponding field excitation, resultant excitation. This is 215 ampere. Again, this figure is not to scale, so do not try to correlate with it. I am just showing the methods. Now next one is, we have to, for the regulation, we have to know the armature um, MF also corresponding. So for that, this is the expression, that is 3 by 2 into 4 n phase root 2 I by P kW into Kp. Now in this expression, I is known, n phase, P, these are known. So Kw and Kp are unknown. That is the winding factor and pitch factor. Now it is not told that the winding is short pitch, so pitch factor we will consider a full pitch coil. So Kp is 1, but Kw we have to decide. Now what is n phase for the armature winding? It is given the 60 armature slots with 4 conductor per slot. It is 3000 rpm machine, so it is number of pole is 2. So we have 60 armature slots into 4 conductor per slot. So this is the total number of conductor divided by number of phases and number of pole. That gives you n phase. So n phase is 40. So slot per pole per phase, that Q expression in the winding factor, that is slot per pole per phase. So total slot is 60, pole 2, phase 3, so Q is 10. Now consider a full pitch coil. The spread is 60 degree because we have 3 phases, total is 180 for 2 pole. So it is divided by 3, it is 60 for 1 phase. So your slot pitch will be 60 divided by the slot per pole per phase. So this is 6 degree. So we'll get Kw equal to sine q gamma by 2 by q sine gamma by 2. That is, we are only considering the fundamental, not the harmonics. No information about the harmonics is given. So sine of 10 into 6 by 2 divided by 10 into sine 6 by 2. So that gives you 0.955, and kp we have assumed 1. So from there, from here we can get the value of fa, that is 3 by 2 into 4 root 2 into n phase I by 2 into kW will give, this is the 80 per pole. Now similarly we have to find for the rotor also. The rotor for the field, slots per pole is given as 10, conductor per slot is 20. So NF will be 10 into 20 by 2. So that is 100. So winding factor for the rotor winding will be sine q. This is q because here there is no phase, so it is q is 10, field slot per pole, that is 10. This is the slot pitch angle by 2. So from here we get kWf is equal to 0.879. So for the field, ff will be 4 by pi nf. This 3 by 2 factor will be not there because this is not a 3-phase winding. So nf, ff, kwf, kpf, again kpf we will consider 1. So this will have a expression with if is unknown. So 1.11.9 if. So the armature reaction, what we have calculated in terms of the field current, it will be equivalent field current will be fa divided by this 1.119. So equivalent field current value is 80.7 ampere. So this is the phasor diagram. That is, Vt is known. We know this angle 36.37 for 0.8 power factor. ER value, Vt plus this is ER. So ER value is known. This angle is also known. 3.8 we have calculated earlier here. So this portion is known. Now for the MMF diagram, FR is leading ER by 90 degree. And this FR magnitude is known. FA magnitude also we have determined, and angle will be, this is 90 plus 3.8 plus 36.37. So this angle is known. So FR is known, FA is known, this angle is known. So we can calculate FF. So FF will be FR, this is this FR minus FA. So FR square plus FA square minus twice FR FA cos of this angle 130.9, 30.7. So solving, we will get the value of field excitation 274.5 ampere. So corresponding to the from the OCC curve, we will get EF. EF is found to be 4,500 volt per phase. So regulation will be EF minus VT by VT, all phase values, into 100, and that is 18.1%. Now for the next one, it is given that the full load torque angle of a synchronous motor at rated voltage and frequency is 30 degree. That is, delta is 30 degree given. The motor resistance is negligible. How will the torque angle be affected by the following changes? Number one is the load torque and terminal voltage remaining constant, and excitation and frequency are raised by 10%. Second case is the load power and the terminal voltage is constant, and the excitation and the frequency are reduced by 10%. Third condition is the load torque and the excitation remaining constant. The terminal voltage and frequency are raised by 10%. And the other one is load power and excitation remaining constant. The terminal voltage and frequency are reduced by 10%. So, what are our relation? The first one is load torque. Load torque and terminal voltage is constant. Now, what is the load torque? Per phase power is EF Vt by Xs sine delta. So torque will be 1 by omega s EF Vt by Xs sine delta. So this is constant, and the terminal voltage Vt is constant. So we have the excitation is increased. So new excitation will be 10% increase. So 1.1 EF. So the speed is increased. That is excitation, and the frequency is increased. If frequency is increased, then the speed will increase. So 1.1 omega s. So correspondingly, as frequency is increased, this synchronous reactance value also will increase. But that torque is constant. So your this expression, that is 1 by omega s EF Vt by Xs sine delta, is equal to 1 by 1.1 omega s into 1.1 EF into Vt by 1.1 Xs sine delta. So that gives you sine delta 1. So your sine delta 1 is sine delta into 1.1. So solving, we get new value of delta is 33.36. Now, what happens instead of torque if we keep the load power constant? Load power is per phase is EF Vt by Xs sine delta. So now this is constant and terminal voltage is constant. So what we have done, we have reduced the excitation by 10%, reduce the speed by frequency by 10%. So their synchronous speed is 0.9 omega s, and similarly synchronous impedance is 0.9 xs. So your power is constant. So EF Vt by Xs sine delta is equal to 0.9 EF into Vt by 0.9 Xs sine delta 1. So your sine delta is equal to sine delta 1. So delta 1 is equal to 30. It will remain constant. That is obvious because your power expression here. Now next one is again the load torque is constant and excitation is constant. Here terminal voltage was constant, now excitation is constant. So new terminal voltage is increased by 10%. So in the new terminal voltage will be 1.1 Vt. New synchronous speed is 1.1 omega s, and synchronous impedance is 1.1 xs. So your torque is constant with 1 by omega s EF Vt by Xs sine delta is equal to 1 by 1.1 omega s EF into 1.1 Vt by 1.1 Xs into sine delta 1. So again sine delta into 1.1 is equal to sine delta 1. So delta 1 is equal to 33.36 degree. If we keep the load power constant, that is EF Vt by Xs sine delta constant and EF constant, and reduce the terminal voltage to 0.9 Vt, speed to 0.9 omega s, synchronous impedance 0.9 xs, as we have reduced the frequency. So equating again, we will get EF Vt by Xs sine delta is equal to EF into 0.9 Vt by 0.9 xs into sine delta 1. So delta is equal to delta 1. So delta remains 30 degree. So there will be no change in delta in second and fourth case. Next one, 1000 kVA 3 phase 11 kV star connected synchronous motor has negligible resistance and synchronous reactance of 35 ohm per phase. What is the excitation EMF of the motor if the power angle is 10 degree and the motor takes rated current at lagging power factor and leading power factor? So two cases has to be considered. What is the mechanical power developed and power factor for the lagging power factor? Uh, for the power factor, two cases we will calculate for both the cases, lagging power factor and leading power factor. So for there, start with any of the phasor. So this one is for leading current. This is a motor. So Vt taking a leading current Ia at some angle theta. So resistance is negligible. So Vt plus JIaXS is equal to your EF. EF is more because we know for motor it operates at leading power factor for over excitation. Now this is, if this is the phasor, what see what are the known quantities. We know Vt, we know this angle theta, and we know the current value, rated current. So we know the current magnitude, we know the value of XS. So in the phasor, this is the angle delta 10 degree. This is theta unknown. Now if this is theta, this is 90. So this is 90 minus theta. So this one angle will be 90 minus theta. And this angle will be 90 plus theta. So this is AB is the voltage, terminal voltage. So I have extended this line and this is perpendicular to this. So this is a rectangular triangle. So from here CD is EF sine of this angle. That is EF sine delta CD. Similarly, CD is IAXS sine of this angle. So IAXS cos theta. This is 90 minus theta. So this is cos theta. So IAXS cos theta is equal to EF sine delta. Now in this expression, IA is known, XS 35 it is given, cos theta is unknown, and EF also is unknown. So this is sine delta is 0.1736 EF. So we can get a value of cos theta in terms of EF. This is an expression. Similarly, this AC will be AB plus BC. So AB is VT and BC is IAXS cos of this angle. So cos of this angle is sine theta. So Vt plus IAXS sine theta. This is again equal to EF cos of 10 degree. Again we know Vt, we know IAXS, sine theta is unknown, and and this is 0.9848 EF. Now from here also we can calculate, find a value of sine theta in terms of EF. Now we know sine square theta cos square theta is equal to 1. So this is value of cos theta and this is value of sine theta. We can put the values and equate to 1. So this by this I have not calculated because that will give you much a calculation error because these quantities will be very small. So we can multiply both sides by this this square. So this will be 0.1736 square EF square is 0.9848 EF minus 6351 the whole square is equal to 1837.5 whole square. So from there we can calculate EF from this expression, that is minus b plus minus root over of b square minus 4ac. So and we can calculate, we get two values. So actually these two values are for one is for leading power factor, one is for lagging power factor. That you can this that portion is not there. Let me so up to this was there. That file is a old file. So actually from here we can see that for leading power factor we should have the larger value of EF. So for leading power factor EF is 7.72 kV, and the cos theta value from this expression, the cos theta value is can be calculated. Cos theta is 0.7294 lead, and the power will be 3 into EF Vt by XS sine 10 degree. So this is 729.86 kilowatt. And for the lagging power factor, excitation is 4.68 kV. So the power factor will be 0.4225 lag, and the power will be 3 into 4684 into 6341 by 35 sine 10. So this is 422.7 kilowatt. Now actually that one I have derived for leading power factor phasor diagram. Now if we consider a lagging power factor phasor diagram, now this is your Vt, this is the lagging power factor current Ia flowing. So Vt plus Iaxs, this will be EF. So this angle is sorry, this is your this is your Vt, this is the current Ia. So this Vt minus Iaxs, this is EF. So this is EF plus Iaxs is equal to Vt. This is for a motor. So this angle between Vt and EF is 10 degree, and this angle is theta, the power factor angle. So from here, this again, if this is theta, this is 90. This angle is 90 minus theta. So similarly, we can get CD. This one again, CD will be EF. This sine this EF sine of 10 degree. This is the this component EF sine of 10 degree. and IA excess cos of theta. So the relationship between cos theta and EF is the same. Similarly, for this component AB, here it will be AC will be AB minus CB. So AB is VT minus this is IA excess sine theta. So the same in the previous case we have here plus sign. Here it is a minus sign. So this is equal to EF cos delta. So if we arrange, will be similar type of expression. Their sine theta was this expression minus this. So here just we have the negative sign. So but we have squaring both the quantities. When we square and add, so the ultimate expression is expression of this EF, this what we are going to solve, this is the same. So we'll get again these two values of EF. So basically, so starting from any of the phasor, whether lagging or leading power factor, we will get two values. The higher one will be for the leading power factor and lower one for the lagging power factor. So I'll stop here today.